Hey, what's up? Sammus here for vlog post number 2. For those that don't know, I am a producer, rapper, PhD lady, retro gamer, game appreciator. Um, and I am now going to start doing a series of vlog posts in which I document the kind of journey leading up to my next full-length album release, because quite a few people have been asking me about like what's my kind of experience like, what's my daily experience like, what's my weekly experience like. So that's what this is about. Yeah. So I guess I'll start off with like class stuff. I'm a teacher for a freshman writing seminar at Cornell University, which is where I am, which is where I'm getting my PhD. Sorry, very out of it right now. Class was cool. On Monday, I collected papers from them. They've written 4 papers so far, which, by the way, I hate grading. Like, the process of grading is actual hell for me. And it's not to say that the papers are bad or anything like that. Like, they're usually actually pretty interesting. But, like, it's really hard to evaluate other people's work in the way that we're supposed to evaluate it. And my handwriting is trash, so I have to like take a lot of time to write really nicely. And you also have to provide a lot of context because they're freshmen, like you can't just cross off a whole section and be like garbage or like a question mark, they're because they need to learn how to write. So I have to write these like very detailed notes um, and then for every paper, they have a rough draft. I have to look over that. Then they have a final draft. So it's like not just like there's 6 papers overall that they have to write for the course. So it turns out to be more like 12 papers that I have to look over because I have to do the rough drafts and the final drafts. It's a lot of work. So anyways, sorry, they handed that back on Monday, the 4th paper. Haven't started grading yet, but whatever. We'll see what happens. On Wednesday, we had a library session, and yo, these kids are so tired. Like, it's the point of the semester where just like nothing, there's no sort of brain waves going on. Like, I felt so bad. The 2 women who were leading the library session were asking the most basic questions, like, what is the Cornell Library website? Meanwhile, the big page at the big like projected website with the like URL is at the front, and the kids are kind of like, I couldn't even be mad though, because like I'm exhausted, everybody's tired. But it just felt like pulling teeth. I felt so bad for those ladies. Like I was about to start answering questions, but I don't think that would have been acceptable. Anyways, so I finished out the week, kind of chilling a little bit. So I right now, as you can tell from the backdrop, I'm not in my spot. I'm actually in Phoenix, Arizona, where I'm attending my friend's wedding. But prior to that, I headed to New York City on Thursday night. I was supposed to get there Thursday morning or afternoon, but my car had some issues. So I ended up getting there late, and I was going to record with my homie Sosa, but because I got in late, I didn't get a chance to do that. So on Friday, we were going to record, but there was just too much stuff going on. So he ended up just taking me to JFK. I almost missed my flight. Yeah, it was really bad. I had to like beg the dude at the front if he could like let me go. And he was really sweet. I don't know what was kind of in the air that day. Well, it must have been because I was like, my friend is getting married and I can't miss it, please. Um, but yeah, I need to get my life together. That needs to happen because this has happened quite a few times where I've like almost missed very important flights. Um, from not being there. Like you have to be there a full hour before if you're gonna check in. If you have a bag that's not a carry-on. Note to self. I say note to self, and then I'm gonna be late again next time. But anyways, so I barely got my behind on this plane. And then the flight, oh my God, it was awful. It was the turbulence. It was awful. And like the guy next to me was really nervous too. So like our nervous energies just weren't working out. Like he would just jump and then I would jump and then we were just like frightened together. And I was really annoyed. I was like, what is the pilot doing? Why can't he find another place to go? Why is this the best route? It was so bumpy. It was so bumpy. I need to learn more about the science behind flying so I can finally like lay some of these fears and anxieties to rest because I know that it's like, right, statistically, it's safer to fly than driving a car. But for some reason, I cannot shake these issues that I have whenever I go through turbulence. It just feels like I'm going to die. Um, so I persevered through that, ended up here in Phoenix for the homie Raheem Jarbo, aka Megaran, aka Random's wedding to the beautiful Rachel Denise Walker, love of his life. And it was a beautiful weekend. Like everything kind of flowed pretty smoothly. I didn't end up coming here early enough on Friday to be able to do any of the sort of like, I think they had like a dinner or something to that effect. But, you know, I was here for the ceremony on Saturday, and then they had like a little brunch thing on Sunday. Um, you know, everybody cut up the rug on Saturday, but I ate way too much, so I was kind of seated for most of it. I went ham. Like I ate way too much. And I'm fine with that. So yeah, it was a cool experience. I got to meet some people who were like, "Yo, I'm a huge fan of your music," which was pretty awesome. And I mean, it makes sense because of my relationship with Raheem. Basically, knowing him through the rap world. But it was still kind of cool to have people that I had never met in person be like, "Yo, I actually really respect you a lot. I like your music a lot." Phoenix is a weird city. Like we were in terms trying to find the venues. I was with a kind of group of people and we were walking around, and like it's like super deserted. There's not a lot of action going on here. The weather was like perfect. It was really nice. The sky is like totally blue. But it's just quiet. It's like quiet, and all of the architecture is like brownish beige. I don't know. It's a weird place. I haven't quite figured out Phoenix yet. Don't think that I will, provided since I'm gonna be here like another less than 24 hours. Regardless, it's a weird place, but I like Raheem, so I came through and I enjoyed myself. Now I'm just kind of putting the finishing touches on a song that I'm going to be recording tomorrow. That's about my kind of changing status as an artist, in the sense that I'm now in this weird kind of liminal space between like supporting act and headliner potential, right? So like people have talked to me about like, oh, what would it mean for you to like headline? And to me, I still have a lot of anxiety about that because I don't trust people. I don't trust that anyone would come to see me perform as like their main attraction. Maybe as a supporting act. Even though I think I put on a really good live show, I still don't have the confidence that I have a fan base significant enough that I could really pull people in to come and see me. And maybe that's an issue that I need to work through. Or maybe I'm just being realistic because you see artists who conflate like their likes and their retweets with like actual support. But we know that's not true because you have, artists who have millions and millions of followers on Twitter, and yet they'll drop an album and it's like 10,000 people purchased it, right? So there's not a direct correlation there at all. So I never want to assume that just because people are active with me online that they would come to a show just because we had a good conversation at one point. But maybe I need to start making that assumption, because that's how you get from being a supporting act to a headliner, is having belief in yourself and feeling like, yeah, if I have a show and I promote it, people will come. So that's kind of what this song is about, the anxiety of me moving from one stage of artistry to the next stage of artistry, what that entails, what kind of new pressures that brings with it, and whether I'm kind of capable of handling it. Yeah. So that's my life in a nutshell. If you have questions or things that you want to ask me about that's not related to like personal or dating life or anything like that, I'll be happy to answer them. So feel free to drop me a line. I hope this vlog post number 2 was dope. And feel free to check out number 1 and stay tuned for number 3 at the end of next week. Peace out.